Good morning. It's good to see you all here today as we gather to worship. And I'm going to remind myself what I'm here doing. All right? If it helps you, great. But I'm here to offer myself as a sacrifice of praise and thanksgiving, right, to Jesus. And that's what we're all here to do. That's what worship's about. And we do this through our practice of the ministry of the Word and the sacrament. And so if you have any questions, just let me know. First, I want to give a thanks to all of you who were able to make it here yesterday to celebrate Joy's life and resurrection. It was a beautiful service. The grandkids, which were numerous, a number of them shared, and one of the granddaughters, in honor of Joy, made goodie bags. So if you were ever of a certain age, you received a goodie bag from Joy. There are, I believe, there's still some on the table there. And they gave a bunch of cards, because if you'd been here for any period of time when Joy was active, you received a card from Joy. And so please, after the service, I'll remind you, but just take a card. If you didn't meet her, just take a card and send it to someone who would appreciate it. You know, there's always scripture verses in there, and it always said, Jesus loves you. So those are back there. A reminder, after our service, we're going to go not to the back, but next door. We have coffee and treats there for our core meeting. This is where each year we gather to go ahead and hear from God and to give you the opportunity to share your input on where you believe God's leading us, because every one of us has the Holy Spirit within us, and so everyone's input is needed. So that'll be right after the service. We'll be done by 12:30. There's a lunch from Panera, so please stick around. The other announcement is that on November 3rd, we'll be celebrating our feast day of All Saints, and Bishop Eric will be here. We have 2 young ones being confirmed and someone reaffirming their vows. So that'll be November 3rd. Please plan on being here. And as you'll see flashing up there, we are hosting a concert, a Christmas concert on December 6th. The information's up there. I've been sending it out. And on Saturday, December 7th, the musician, who's also a pastor, is going to give a talk, and we're holding a brunch catered next door. So with that, I invite you to quiet your minds and calm your hearts as we prepare for worship. I invite the congregation to stand and join in singing our opening hymn.
How firm a foundation, ye saints of the Lord, is laid for your faith in his excellent word. What more can he say than to you he hath said? To you who for refuge to Jesus have fled. Fear not, I am with thee, oh be not dismayed, for I am thy God and will still give thee aid. I'll strengthen thee, help thee, and cause thee to stand, upheld by my gracious omnipotent hand. When through the deep waters I call thee to go, the rivers of sorrow shall not overflow. For I will be with thee, thy trouble to bless, and sanctify to thee thy deepest distress. When through fiery trials thy pathway shall lie, my grace all sufficient shall be thy supply. The flame shall not harm thee, I only design thy dross to consume and thy gold to refine. The soul that on Jesus doth lean for repose, I will not desert to his foes. That soul through all hell should endeavor to shake, I'll never, no, never, no, never forsake. That soul through all hell should endeavor to shake, I'll never, no, never, no, never forsake.
Our service begins on page 3 of our service book. Blessed be God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And blessed be his kingdom, now and forever. Amen. Let us join together in prayer. Almighty God, to you all hearts are open, all desires known, and from you no secrets are hid. Cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the inspiration of your Holy Spirit, that we may perfectly love you and worthily magnify your holy name, through Christ our Lord. Amen. Hear what our Lord Jesus Christ says. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments depend all the law and the prophets. Lord, have mercy upon us. Christ, have mercy upon us. Lord, have mercy upon us.
Glory to God in the highest, and peace to his people on earth. Lord God, heavenly King, almighty God and Father, we worship you, we give you thanks, we praise you for your glory. Lord Jesus Christ, only Son of the Father, Lord God, Lamb of God, you take away the sin of the world, have mercy on us. You are seated at the right hand of the Father, receive our prayer, for you alone are the Holy One, you alone are the Lord, you alone are the Most High, Jesus Christ with the Holy Spirit, in the glory of God the Father. Amen.
The Lord be with you.
And with you.
Let us pray. Set us free, loving Father, from the bondage of our sins, and in your goodness and mercy give us the liberty of that abundant life which you have made known to us in our Savior Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen. I invite the congregation to be seated for the reading of God's word.
A reading from the prophet Isaiah. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was a chastisement that brought us peace, and with his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray, we have turned every one to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like sheep that before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, stricken for the transgression of my people? And they made his grave with the wicked, and with a rich man to his death, although he has done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring. He shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death and was numbered with the transgressors. Yet he bore the sin of many and makes intercession for the transgressors. The word of the Lord. Our psalm appointed today is Psalm 91. If the congregation will please respond to the even verses. Whoever dwells under the defense of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
I will say unto the Lord, you are my refuge and my stronghold, my God in whom I trust.
For he shall deliver you from the snare of the hunter and from the deadly pestilence.
He shall defend you under his wings, and you shall be safe under his feathers. His faithfulness and truth shall be your shield and buckler.
You shall not be afraid of any terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day.
Of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the sickness that destroys at noonday.
1,000 shall fall beside you, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you.
Indeed, with your eyes you shall behold, and see the reward of the ungodly.
Because you have said, the Lord is my refuge, and have made the Most High your stronghold.
There shall no evil happen to you, neither shall any plague come near your dwelling.
For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways.
They shall bear you in their hands, that you hurt not your foot against a stone.
You should not tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and the serpent you shall trample under your feet.
Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will lift him up because he has known my name.
He shall call upon me, and I will hear him. Indeed, I am with him in trouble. I will deliver him and bring him honor.
With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen.
A reading from the letter to the Hebrews. For the word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the divisions of soul and of spirit, of joint and of marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart. And no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him whom we must give account. Since then, we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God. Let us hold fast to our confessions, for we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in a time of need. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Let us stand and join in singing our gradual hymn.
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. All else be not to me, save that thou art. Thou my blessed blood, by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, thine own may I be. Thou in my dwelling, and I one with thee.
The Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to St. Mark. Glory to you, Lord Christ. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to Jesus and said to him, Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you. And he said to them, What do you want me to do for you? And they said, Grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory. Jesus said to them, You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or to be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized? And they said to him, We are able. And Jesus said to them, The cup that I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared. And when the 10 heard it, they began to be indignant at James and John. And Jesus called them to him and said to them, You know that those who are considered rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Christ.
High King of heaven, when victory is won, may I reach heaven's joys, bright heaven's sun. Heart of my heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, O ruler of all.
Come, Holy Spirit, come. Come as the wind and cleanse. Come as the fire and burn. Convert and consecrate our hearts for our good and for your greater glory. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Please be seated. We see in our gospel reading, Jesus asks James and John, what do you want me to do for you? So, what do you want Jesus to do for you? What are we doing here this morning? Is this mere habit, or are we coming here with expectation? We should come with a sense of expectation that, once again, God is going to speak to us. And so that's another question I have to you. Do you hear from God? Does God speak to you? Well, our reading from Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12 through 16 tells us that God does continuously speak to us. And the word he speaks is living and active. At times, it cuts really close to home, revealing things we'd like to keep hidden. But when it does this, it's always to invite us into something better. It's always to bring about healing and wholeness in our lives that we can't get to without that revelation. Any more so than we can't get healing for a disease we don't yet know we have. I want us to go back to the beginning of the book of Hebrews real quick to just kind of grasp the word of God. It begins in chapter 1, verse 1 through 3, saying this: long ago, at many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world. He is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature. And he upholds the universe by the word of his power. So, Jesus, we know from Scripture, is the Word made flesh. Here at the opening of his letter, he tells us that nothing is existing right now apart from Jesus, apart from the power of his Word. Just as in the Mount of Transfiguration, when they were up and the cloud of glory descended and God's voice was speaking. Remember, on the mount there was Moses and Elijah, representing all Scripture, right? And what does the voice of the Father speak through the cloud? This is my beloved Son. Listen to him. Listen to him. Jesus is the same as God the Father. He tells us in the Gospel of John that he only said and did that which he sees the Father in heaven doing. And so therefore, the Bible, which we understand and believe to be God's Word, must be understood and applied through the life, death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus. Bishop Chavis said that all of Scripture is the portrait of Christ coming alive. So imagine that. You're in a museum and you see this big portrait of Jesus and he steps out. That's what Scripture is. Martin Luther said it's the manger in which we find Jesus. So we can't read God's Word without the lens of Jesus. If we do, we're going to miss what it's saying. But we also see in our passage today that this word that's living and active is very personal. And so it's describing Jesus and his work and ministry in our life. And so this morning I want us to think about how we can experience the word, Jesus, as living and active. And how can we hear God speak to us this morning? And we're going to do so by looking at our passage from Hebrews as well as our passage from Isaiah 53. And we'll see it's really going to be about understanding Jesus and what he offers, as well as properly understanding what we offer to Jesus. So understanding what Jesus offers. I'm going to look at verse 15 from our passage from Hebrews. It says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin." So Jesus is our high priest. He's also our great sacrifice. And he sympathizes with us, meaning he feels deeply what we experience. Another way to say it is that he gets us. He understands. And not just the joys and the delights of life, because if we look closely at his ministry, Jesus was all in favor of us experiencing joy and delight. But he also gets the hard parts, the parts that we wish we didn't experience, or the fears that we wish we didn't have. If we look at our passage from Isaiah 53, God, speaking through the prophet Isaiah, is foretelling about Jesus' ministry and that he's going to be the suffering servant. And here we get a very clear picture of how Jesus sympathizes. It says he's borne our griefs. He's carried our sorrows. He was stricken, smitten, afflicted, pierced, oppressed, and crushed, judged wrongly, and died with the wicked. These are all the things that we either really don't like experiencing or are extremely afraid of experiencing, right? Rejection, failure, being judged, being cast out. And we can't live this life without experiencing grief or sorrow. He's borne that grief. He's carried our sorrows. He knows our afflictions. Right? He was tempted in every way that we are. Right? Tempted meaning to turn away from the source of life in the midst of those struggles. Right? But he did not sin. And we get a picture of this, of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, knowing what lays ahead, and he would really rather not go through with it, because who wants this? Right? Tempted, but did not sin. Not my will, but your will, Father. And yet, in the midst of all of this, we see what he offers is mercy and grace. Right? The closing part of our passage from Hebrews is that because Jesus, being our high priest, has already gone through the curtain, removing any barriers for those who trust in him to come right in to the throne room, right into the presence of the Father, and receive mercy and grace in our time of need. And our passage in Isaiah 53 says he offers these things, that he brings us peace. And that's the Hebrew for shalom, or wholeness, of having integrity, of being put back together. He heals us by his wounds. He accounts us righteous, meaning that all barriers to being in this open relationship with the Father are removed, so that we can live in line with him and his will, and then work that out in our relationships. And he intercedes for us. I don't know about you, that's rather comforting to think that Jesus is praying for me, for you, for our church, for our country. He's invested in the mission of restoring all things to the way they're intended to be. Right? He's our greatest cheerleader, our greatest encourager. So these are the things that Jesus offers us: mercy and grace and peace and healing and a right relationship, and this commitment to our best as he prays for us. Now, what is it that we offer? not nearly as encouraging initially. If we look at Isaiah 53, it says that we offer transgression, iniquity, rejection, right? The one thing that we're all afraid of, we do to God. We reject God. Sin and guilt. Wandering away. Choosing our own way. So, I don't know about you. The question we might ask is, why? Why would Jesus do that? Why would he experience all those things if we are so unworthy? Why did Jesus and the Father willingly and intentionally pursue the cross? Now, I'm just going to reflect for a moment, just with me, that if we recall at creation, we received, all of humanity received this original stamp of God's approval as very good, revealing that we are the object of his love, as those of eternal value and worth just by our existence, because we're created in his image and likeness. And we're created in his image and likeness to live in communion in love with him. Now, the Eastern Orthodox Church has, in my opinion, a healthier way of understanding this than Catholics and Protestants. Right? See, the church in the West tends to overlook or dismiss this original goodness as image bearers in favor of focusing on our state after sin entered into the world. This has led to the teaching that we are born into a state of being wrong or bad, because sin is seen and understood primarily as a moral transgression against God, which then means that our default mode will naturally be towards moralism, towards trying to do more right things than wrong things, rather than living in a relationship of dependence and trust, which, by the way, leads to doing right things. Now, when I first got sober, people shared something with me that was extremely helpful. You could imagine I wasn't on a winning streak by any means. I had been suicidal. I had made an utter mess of my life. And people would say this, Mark, remember, you're not a bad person trying to become good. You're a sick person who needs to get well. And this perspective change didn't diminish that I had done some seriously bad things. I didn't scrub that away, but it did shift how I could understand myself and to focus on what was needed to be done to get well, without carrying around this extra baggage that I'm a bad person. Okay? So similarly, the Orthodox see sin as primarily an infection or a disease, which results in separating us from loving communion with God. And Christ is the remedy. So we continually turn to him through repentance and faith, through his word and sacraments, and through fellowship and service with his people. And as we do this, our infection is being dealt with, and we get well. However, Scripture says we're like type 1 diabetics, right? Who need to daily address their insulin. We too need to abide in Christ daily, because the disease of sin will not be completely healed in this life, though we are going to get healthier as we abide in Jesus. So seeing sin as a lifelong infection that has the power to do tremendous harm to ourselves and others when not receiving treatment is a perspective change that you might find helpful for two reasons. Okay, one, it shifts our understanding of our problem from being bad and wrong to being sick. And just think how you treat people who are sick as opposed to how you treat people who you think are bad. Right? How do you treat someone who you know is struggling with an illness, whether mental illness, physical illness, as opposed to someone you know who is maybe engaged in bad behavior? And 2, it helps heighten our awareness that our relationship with Jesus is essential moment to moment. If we do not continue to go to him for healing, we're the ones that suffer. So such a perspective shift can help us hear from God as he speaks to us about areas of our lives that he wants to guide and direct us in. And it helps us to welcome God's gaze upon us. Okay? Our passage in Hebrews says in verse 13, "And no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him to whom we must give account." So this is speaking about Jesus, right? When it's talking about the word being living and active, it's speaking about Jesus. He's the one that we give account to. And that's what none of us want to have experienced, right? Who wants to be naked and exposed, right? We in any sort of way, right? There's things about our lives we just, we want it to be just between us and Jesus. It makes sense, But he knows it all. Tim Keller says this: "To be loved but not known is comforting but superficial. To be known and not loved is our greatest fear. But to be fully known and truly loved is what we need more than anything else." To be fully known and truly loved is what we need more than anything else. And that's exactly what Jesus offers us. He sees all of us and loves us beyond our reckoning. See, Jesus willingly became our suffering servant. He was naked and exposed in every possible way on the cross, so that through repentance and faith, we could re-enter into communion in love as God's beloved children, that which we were created for, so that we could experience that stamp of goodness, of very good, that we could experience that we are of eternal value and worth in God's eyes, and that God's gaze upon us then is always one of love and compassion, because the Father sees us in Jesus, in our relationship with him. So how might really understanding this at our depths change what we offer to Jesus now, today? How might it change how we deal with our sickness? This truth, this reality is intended to break down the barriers we put up, to willingly and always turn to Jesus, which is what repentance is. So, just briefly in closing, what we offer now. What do we offer Jesus now? We know what we offered to the cross, but what do we offer now as we understand what he was doing and what he is doing on our behalf? Well, we see we offer our worship. We offer our service. We offer our lives as sacrifices of praise and thanksgiving in deep gratitude for what he's done, what he's doing, and what he promises to do. And then we commit to seek to live as he calls us to live. We seek to take him at his word. Verse 14 in our passage in Hebrews says, "Let us hold fast our confession." And this confession is a shorthand for saying the gospel, that which is summarized in the creed, that which we are going to recite once again. It's the story that's meant to shape and inform and motivate our lives. Right? That's part of what we do every Sunday when we come here, is we reset and we recall what is the story of our lives. We have all these individual different things going on, and Jesus cares about it all, but he wants us to see and understand that it's all a part of what he has been doing, is doing, and will do. And the foundation of that is the gospel, the good news of Jesus. I'm just going to give a couple of examples of how this can change the way we live our lives. And when we hold fast to the good news of Jesus, as we remain open that he's always with us and he wants what is best for us. So I think often we actually forget as we go about our daily lives, this good news. We forget in many ways that Jesus is with us. We forget the difference it's meant to make. So I want you to just reflect on the last time that you sinned in a way that you felt guilt, okay? Because God's gaze upon us is always love and compassion does not mean that we're not going to feel guilt for when we do things that are wrong, but it means that we don't have to stay there. So can you recall the last time that you felt like you'd stepped in it, so to speak? How did you react? See, because a lot of us think that if our vision and our understanding of God is that it's about being good and not being bad, and we were bad, therefore we're going to feel really bad that we failed. We might beat ourselves up a little bit. We might start to tear ourselves down. We might even begin to come up with a plan of how never to do that again. Well, I think that the gospel tells us that there's a different way. What does a little child do if they're in the presence of their parents and they fall down and they scrape their knee? They cry, and where do they go? They go right to their parent for comfort and healing, right? Well, if we understand our sin as this disease, right, we need to go immediately, once we're aware of it, right to the one who wants to heal us. It doesn't do us any good to beat ourselves up, right? We run to Jesus so that he can heal us. We can only do that when we're remembering that that's who he is. One last illustration. If we are encountering, let's say, a difficult situation at work, how do you guys respond when other people aren't behaving charitably at work? Do you immediately think, maybe, who do they think they are? Why are they treating me that way? We might even personalize it, right? It depends kind of on our personalities, how we approach it. But we usually may go inward, and we usually don't, I imagine. I'm speaking from personal experience. I don't immediately go to Jesus. I don't immediately give thanks for what Jesus has done for me and recall the last verse in our passage in our gospel, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. I usually think, why are they not serving me or treating me the way that they should? As opposed to, right, when I remember Jesus, that he is with me, living and active, dwelling with me, I remember the good news of what he's done, then I can begin by prayer. And then I can ask for guidance. How can I bless this person as opposed to curse? So what we offer Jesus now is our humble service. He came not to be served, but to serve. He alone is the ransom, but we are invited to sacrifice our time, our talents, and our treasures for the good of the world. Jesus says we are servants. So it's by serving him and others that we're going to experience the fullness of what he's made available. That peace, that healing, that right relationship. And then we can experience more the depths of his riches and love. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I invite us all to stand, and in response to God's word read and proclaimed, let us confess our faith in the words of the Nicene Creed found on page 5. We believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all that is visible and invisible. We believe in one Lord Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God, eternally begotten of the Father, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, of one being with the Father. Through him all things were made. For us and for our salvation, he came down from heaven. was incarnate from the Holy Spirit and the Virgin Mary, and was made man. For our sake he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. He suffered death and was buried. On the third day he rose again, in accordance with the Scriptures. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in glory to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. We believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and the Son, who with the Father and the Son is worshipped and glorified, who has spoken through the prophets. We believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. We acknowledge one baptism for the forgiveness of sins. We look for the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen.
Prayers of the people are Form 2, which are found on page 7. Father, we pray for your holy Catholic Church. Grant that every member of the Church may truly and humbly serve you. We pray for Steve, our Archbishop, Eric, our Bishop, Father Mark, our Pastor, and Leslie, our Deacon, and for all bishops and priests, deacons, and ministers. We pray for Joe, our President, Gavin, our Governor, Karen, our Mayor, and all in public service. We pray for the spirit of peace and civility and charity to reign in our country and the world. We pray for all who govern and hold authority in the nations of the world.
That there may be justice and peace on the earth.
Give us grace to do your will in all that we undertake. That they may be delivered from their distress. Give to the departed eternal rest.
Let light perpetual shine upon them.
We praise you for your saints who have entered into joy.
May we also come to share in your heavenly kingdom.
Let us pray for our own needs and those of others, either silently or aloud.
For my son-in-law, Johnny, for his son, Sasha, and for Rita, that they would have strength to get them through each day and that they would recognize all that's provided to them to get through it.
Pray for Michelle and Gladys, for Mary Ann, for Mandy, and for all those who are dealing with cancer.
We pray for those we partner with in ministry and mission, for our global mission partners, Father MJ in Asia, Father David and Mary Beth in Toronto, and Amor Ministries in Baja, Mexico, for our local ministry partners, InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, Cap K Food Bank, and the Bakersfield Pregnancy Center.
Heavenly Father, grant these our prayers for the sake of Jesus Christ, our only mediator and advocate, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
Almighty God, to whom we must account for all our powers and privileges, guide the people of the United States in the election of officials and representatives, that by faithful administration and wise laws, the rights of all may be protected, and our nation be enabled to fulfill your purposes. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Let us humbly confess our sins to Almighty God. Most merciful God, we confess that we have sinned against you in thought, word, and deed, by what we have done and by what we have left undone. We have not loved you with our whole heart. We have not loved our neighbors as ourselves. We are truly sorry, and we humbly repent. For the sake of your Son, Jesus Christ, have mercy on us and forgive us, that we may delight in your will and walk in your ways, to the glory of your name. Amen.
Almighty God, have mercy on you, forgive you all your sins through our Lord Jesus Christ, strengthen you in all goodness, and by the power of the Holy Spirit, keep you in eternal life. Amen. Hear the word of God to all who truly turn to him. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. The peace of the Lord be always with you. Walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself for us, an offering and sacrifice to God. This time I invite you to join in singing our offertory hymn as we prepare the table for Holy Communion.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In green pastures he makes me lie down. He restores my soul and leads me on for his name, for his great name. Surely goodness, surely mercy, right beside me all my days, and I will dwell in your house forever and bless your holy name. You prepare a table right before me in the presence of my enemies. Though the arrow flies and the terror of night is at my door, I'll trust you, Lord. Surely goodness, surely mercy, right beside me all my days, and I will dwell in your house forever and bless your holy name. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are on my side. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are on my side, on my side. Surely goodness, surely mercy, right beside me all my days, and I will dwell in your house forever and bless your holy name. Lord, from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below. Praise him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Begins on page 10 in your service book. The Lord be with you. And with your spirit. Lift up your hearts. We lift them up to the Lord. Let us give thanks to the Lord our God. It is right to give him thanks and praise. It is right, our duty and our joy, always and everywhere to give thanks to you, Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, who on the first day of the week overcame death and the grave, and by his glorious resurrection opened to us the way of everlasting life. Therefore we praise you, joining our voices with angels and archangels, and with all the company of heaven, who forever sing this hymn to proclaim the glory of your name.
Holy, holy, holy Lord, God of power and might. Holy, holy, holy Lord, God of power and might. Heaven and earth are full of your glory. Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna in the highest.
Holy and gracious Father, in your infinite love you made us for yourself. And when we had sinned against you and become subject to evil and death, you, in your mercy, sent your only Son, Jesus Christ, into the world for our salvation. By the Holy Spirit and the Virgin Mary, he became flesh and dwelt among us. In obedience to your will, he stretched out his arms upon the cross and offered himself once for all, that by his suffering and death we might be saved. By his resurrection, he broke the bonds of death, trampling hell and Satan under his feet. As our great high priest, he ascended to your right hand in glory, that we might come with confidence before the throne of grace. On the night that he was betrayed, our Lord Jesus Christ took bread, and after he had blessed it, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Likewise, after supper, Jesus took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Take, drink this, all of you, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Whenever you drink it, do this in remembrance of me." Therefore we proclaim the mystery of faith. Christ has died. Christ is risen. Christ will come again. We celebrate the memorial of our redemption, O Father, in this sacrifice of praise and thanksgiving, and we offer you these gifts. Sanctify them by your word and Holy Spirit to be for your people the body and blood of your Son, Jesus Christ. Sanctify us also, that we may worthily receive this holy sacrament and be made one body with him, that he may dwell in us and we in him. In the fullness of time, put all things in subjection under your Christ, and bring us with all your saints into the joy of your heavenly kingdom, where we shall see our Lord face to face. All this we ask through your Son, Jesus Christ. By him and with him and in him, in the unity of the Holy Spirit, all honor and glory is yours, Almighty Father, now and forever. Amen. And now, as our Savior Christ has taught us, we are bold to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Alleluia. Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed once for all upon the cross. Therefore, let us keep the feast. Alleluia. We do not presume to come to this your table, O merciful Lord, trusting in our own righteousness, but in your abundant and great mercies. Apart from your grace, we are not worthy so much as to gather up the crumbs under your table. But you are the same Lord, whose character is always to have mercy. Grant us, therefore, gracious Lord, so to eat the flesh of your dear Son, Jesus Christ, and to drink his blood, that our sinful bodies may be made clean by his body, and our souls washed through his most precious blood, and that we may evermore dwell in him, and he in us. Amen. These are the gifts of God for you, the people of God. Take them in remembrance that Christ died for you, and feed on them in your hearts by faith with thanksgiving. All baptized Christians are welcome here at the Lord's table at All Saints to receive Holy Communion. We still have the same practice. You'll be invited down the center. You can take the bread directly in your hand and go to the minister on the side you're seated on, and they'll take it and dip it in the wine and put it in your hand, or you can still receive a sealed chalice of wine and bread. Body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ, keep us in everlasting life.
My worth is not in what I own, not in the strength of flesh and bone, but in the costly wounds of love at the cross. My worth is not in skill or name, in win or lose, in pride or shame, but in the blood of Christ that flowed at the cross. And I rejoice in my Redeemer, greatest treasure, wellspring of my soul. And I will trust in him, no other. My soul is satisfied in him alone. As summer flowers we fade and die, fame, youth, and beauty hurry by, but life eternal calls to us at the cross. I will not boast in wealth or might, or human's wisdom fleeting light, but I will boast in knowing Christ at the cross. I rejoice in my Redeemer, greatest treasure, wellspring of my soul. And I will trust in him, no other. My soul is satisfied in him alone. And I rejoice in my Redeemer, greatest treasure, wellspring of my soul. And I will trust in him, no other. My soul is satisfied in him alone. In you alone, Lord, in you alone. Do wonders here that I confess my worth and my unworthiness, my value fixed, my ransom paid at the cross. And I rejoice in my Redeemer, greatest treasure, wellspring of my soul. And I will trust in him, no other. My soul is satisfied in him alone. My soul is satisfied in him alone.
Who are able to stand, and turning to page 14, let us join together in the post-communion prayer. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for feeding us with the spiritual food of the most precious body and blood of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ, and for assuring us in these holy mysteries that we are living members of the body of your Son and heirs of your eternal kingdom. And now, Father, send us out to do the work you have given us to do, to love and serve you as faithful witnesses of Christ our Lord. To him, to you, and to the Holy Spirit be honor and glory, now and forever. Amen. Now may the peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of his Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon you now and remain with you always. Amen. I invite the congregation to be seated briefly. Do we have any birthdays or anniversaries in our midst? Wednesday. All right, I'm going to come over, and this will be interesting. You'll play for yourself. Yes. So Wednesday, and then it's our son Daniel's 20th birthday today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like only yesterday, huh?
It does. It does. 2 decades. Guess that means we're getting old, Troy. I'll speak for myself. All right. Please join me as we pray for Troy and Daniel. Gracious God, we do give you thanks and praise for the gift of life. And we thank you and praise you even more so for the gift of new life that allows us to keep in step with your love and your spirit now. We thank you for our brother Troy, Father, for giving him to us as a church family. We thank you for the many ways that he shares his gifts freely with us, that we could be built up and encouraged in worship, and we just thank you for the blessing he is to so many others. And Father, we thank you for the gift of Daniel's life. Lord, we pray that you would continue to guide each one of his steps, and may both of them know your joy and delight. May your joy be their strength. And we ask this all in your mighty name, Jesus. Amen. Happy birthday
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Troy and Daniel. Happy birthday to you. Amen.
Jesus loves you. That was on Joy's answering machine. First thing. Or if she picked up the phone, it's the first thing she'd say. There are smiley face, happy face stickers back on that table. There are cards that the granddaughter bought. Please take one. You just, you don't have to follow her pattern, but like I said, there's always scripture verses in there, and it always said Jesus loves you. And I think she was very in step with the Holy Spirit, because many of us had those experiences that her cards came at just the right time. So there are these to take, and there are some goodie bags back there. No fighting for them, but please take those. We're going to finish up. I'm going to ask that we stack the chairs in the back, even though we're not going to be here, if you wouldn't mind doing that, because we have a class here tomorrow night, and just save us a little work. We'll go next door for coffee and treats, and we'll start our core meeting. We'll have lunch. We'll be out of there by 12:30 at the latest. And please remember, Bishop Eric will be with us on November 3rd. With that, I invite you to stand and join in singing our closing hymn.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. Though no one join me, I still will follow. Though no one join me, I still will follow. Though no one join me, I still will follow. No turning back, no turning back. The world behind me, the cross before me. The world behind me, the cross before me. The world behind me, the cross before me. No turning back, no turning back. No turning back, no turning back.
Yeah, alleluia. Let us go forth in the name of Christ. Thanks be to God. Alleluia, alleluia.
Look forward to seeing you next